Hi again, my name is Saiful. So now in task2_2, the second part of task2, we need to reconfigure the buttons wiring to be, instead of pull down, always low, we want to reconfigure it to be always high, which is pull up. So the connection, as you can see here now, is that the button is pull up is connected to high. Both buttons are connected to high. Okay, so some modification that we have to make in the code is basically this part. Okay, we will touch on the pull up pull down register setting later, but now I want to explain how we want to check the button correctly, and we want to turn on the button. We want to turn on the LED when the button is pressed, and we want to see otherwise when the button is not pressed, the LED will always turn off. Okay, so this would be similar to previous tasks. We load the input data register and check and read this data register, and we end this with 001 to check whether the button 1, which is PA0, is pressed or not. So now, because of the configuration is pull up configuration, the wiring for button is pull up, the GPIO will always read as high. Okay, so we want to end with 001, and we put here, instead of B and E, now we put BEQ, which if we press, it will the GPIO will register as low, and the 0 flag is set, is clear. Is clear. When it's clear, when it is 0, we want to branch to LED 1 on, otherwise we remains it as off. Same goes for button number 2. We just end the input data register to 002 to check whether PA1, button number 2, is pressed or not, because now the button is always at high. When you press, it should trigger as low. This function will let us know whether when the button is pressed, it will turn to low or not. Okay, when the button is pressed, we will direct to LED 2 on, otherwise we will keep it at off. I mean, we turn off the LED. So this is a similar setup. Because of the configuration of these two LED is different. One is tied to 0 and one is tied to high. LED 1 on should lit up the LED, because now it's tied to 0. We turn on by lighting up the LED 1, and we turn off by clearing the bit, clearing this bit for LED 1. And the opposite goes for LED number 2, because now it's tied to high. We want to clear off the bit to set to low to make the LED on, and we will set to high to turn off the LED. Okay, so the initialization, the first part we would like to turn on, we will enable the clock for GPIO port A, and then we want to configure the mode for pins 12 and pin 12 and pin 4. So we set pin 12 and pin 4 to general purpose output mode, which is 01. At this bit, we shift this address by 24 bits to the left and write this number inside, and then we shift the bit 8 bits to the left and write this number, which refers to PA12 and PA4. This value will set PA12 and PA4 to output mode. And we want to set the buttons, which is PA0 and PA1, to be input mode. So we end with this value, which is C at the end is 1100. We want it to be 00, and bit 1 and bit 0 to be 00, and this is 3 at the end is 0011. We want bits 2 and bits 3 to be 0. Then we update the mode address. So pull up, pull down, resistor mode. We want to write those two bits those two buttons, PA0 and PA1, to enable as pull up enable. So we write from this address, we move by 0, which is the first button, PA0, we write 01 to be pull up enable. Same goes for button number 2, we shift 2 bits to the left to write PA1 to be pull up enable. If you want the buttons to be pull down enable, you can write 10, or if you want it to be not internally pull up or pull down, you can write 00, or just leave it as a default, and 11 should be reserved in the configuration. So the push and pull types is similar to previous tasks, which we set all to push, we set all pins to push and pull, and we set all pins to low speed. So at the end, we can build this and check for errors and warning. There's no errors and warning. So we can transfer this file into our Nucleo board. Okay, done. So from this configuration, if I click this button at the top, we should turn on LED number 1, which is the green one. Sorry. See? Green one. And this button number 2, it should turn on LED number 2, which is the amber one. So button number 1 when pressed, button number 2 when pressed. As you can see, the configuration for the buttons here is always pull up, always high. So we press to make it low. And when low, we turn on the LED. Alright. Thank you.